Look at that. I forgot to hit record on Zoom. Okay, here we go. So let me just move Instagram and turn you around. How do I turn you around? There we go. There we go. So there's the gorgeous girl. That is the beauty that I connected with. I think it was week before last. She is, oh, she's such a little diamond. Okay, let me put you back, Instagram. Okay. So that was her. That's beautiful, Tigger. And I'm going to just check that you're seeing her on Facebook. Yes, lovely. Okay. In fact, I could probably keep her up on Facebook. Let me see if I can still see comments. Okay. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so what happens with the cat chakra cleanse is that I connect with the cat and feel initial impressions. So before I get into this, I just want to say a really big thank you to Leslie, who is Tigger's guardian, for giving me permission to share Tigger's chakra cleanse with you all. I'm really, really grateful. And I know that it will be lighting Tigger's soul up even more to be able to share her words of wisdom with everybody. So thank you very much, my love. Okay, so I put Tigger's, like I'm doing now, I put her picture up on the screen when I connected with her, and the first sense that I got was that she needs warmth. And this may sound crazy, but sometimes I will do things in my room with the cat that they need. So with her, I ended up getting my heated blanket and sitting whilst I was doing the chakra cleanse with my heated blanket on me because Tigger needed warmth. And actually, when I talked about this with her guardian, she has a heated bed. She has wheat pads in her bed, you know, so she likes the warmth. She thrives with the warmth. She also had a very tight throat. She felt a little detached, and she showed me like a balloon sort of floating, like without a tether. Her energy felt like it was overflowing. So she had a lot of energy, but it wasn't staying where she needs it. And she needed warmth and gold light. What happened then is that I felt drawn to use a crystal. So I don't use a crystal with every cat. I don't do it with every chakra. I am drawn and led to whatever is needed by the cat. So funnily enough, I did a chakra cleanse today. So I've got this, I'll show you all. I've got this huge box, which is absolutely full of crystals. I have loads. I'm a little bit like a magpie when I go into a crystal shop. So I don't know what's going on in my hair today. I got the big box out and I was drawn straight away to Bumblebee Jasper, which in fact, I'll have to get the bit of paper out. But when we read the feedback from, in fact, let me see if I can quickly find it. Oh, and the Bumblebee Jasper was given to me by a friend as well. It's not one that I've actually picked myself. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Aha. So Bumblebee Jasper, it supports the solar plexus. It frees blocked energy from the body. It raises the frequency, cleanses the aura, and reduces anxiety. So bearing in mind, one of the first things that Tigger shared with me is that her energy was overflowing, but not staying where she needs it. No wonder she needs a crystal that, you know, frees blocked energy and cleanses the aura. So I find it fascinating every time I do this, but I believe in it 1000%. But it still blows my mind when I read the crystals that I'm drawn to and I work with a cat and find out what they help and how they help. Right, let me put that away before my cheeks get even redder with all the energy from the crystals. So we used the Bumblebee Jasper, and I sat with it, and I sat with her picture, connected with the two, and saw what, and you know, felt what came through. So she showed me like almost like clouds in her aura, which for her were experiences that have created blockages and holes, basically. So what was happening is, you know, the auric field is an extension of the physical body and the energetic body, and it's connected to all the chakras. It sits out and around us, which is why when you hug people, sometimes you can feel their energy. She had holes in her, so basically the energy wasn't healed, it wasn't secure. So it is, you know, it's kind of like an energy leak, basically. She had a very heavy heart, and she felt grounded when she was connected with her guardian. So the relationship that they had really helped Tigger to feel grounded. So she said to me initially, this is all the initial impressions. I hadn't even got to the chakra cleanse at this point. So she said to me, I just need to sit with the light. So her joints felt like they were aching. I could feel this heaviness in my body. And what we did is I had a tea light lit, and I had the bumblebee jasper in my hand. I had the heated blanket on my body, and I literally sat. I sat with her picture. We sat connected together energetically and emotionally, and we let the warmth kind of run through our body and to get the energy moving. So she also showed me turmeric. And when I spoke to her guardian, she said that she used to make a turmeric paste for her dog, and she was going to offer it to Tigger to see if she wanted it. I did find out a few days later that she'd offered the paste and she wasn't keen, but I did suggest that perhaps rather than making this, what I know is usually termed golden paste, to offer turmeric and see what she did and how she worked with it through self-selection. So Tigger said to me, the warmth creates momentum. It helps me to move the energy. So you see, she's already sharing with me what she needs to help heal. So when I spoke to her guardian, I said, you know, I would really recommend, if you haven't got one already, getting a heated cat bed. So you can get cat beds that basically, we had them for pickle. We've got them in the cupboard. When the cat sits on them, that's when the heat pad then kind of not ignites. That sounds like it's like flammable, but it switches on, and then the heat starts to come through the electric pad. But if there is no pressure on there, it doesn't work. And that's when Leslie shared with me that actually she does put wheat blankets in her bed, and Tigger absolutely loves them. And so whilst we were working with the heat, she showed me an image of like a phone battery, like charging, like the little bars going up. So I could feel that it was helping her. And she said, I need to feel nourished. Okay, so then we added another crystal, and she wanted a gold stone. And I think, if I remember correctly, that was to do with energy movement and energy balance. So you see how the chakras and her energy and her crystals, they're all kind of coming together. They're all working together to support her. And she shared with me and said, I've been waiting for the now, which was the healing session. She said that her guardian, so Leslie, was nervous to heal and get help, and now she's ready to be brave. And again, when I spoke to Leslie, she said to me that she had been waiting for a few weeks before she got in touch to book the session. So, you know, Tigger could feel all of that. So I asked her then if she was ready. So it's always important, if you're doing healing, to ask for permission. And Tigger said yes, she was ready to let it flow. So we started, so I asked her where she wanted to start. So normally I work root to crown. I do that because it's helpful to get the energy flowing through the chakras to ensure the cat is grounded so that they can embrace the energy, they can feel the energy and allow it to move through them. Some cats won't start with the root. Some cats want to start somewhere else. So I always ask where they want to start. For example, I had a cat yesterday that I did a chakra cleanse for, and we needed to start at the heart because there was no way we were going to go anywhere else with energy. The cat couldn't move any other energy until we'd done some movement and unblocked their heart. So we started off with the root, and it felt ruby colored. So again, I kind of see colors, I can feel the colors. And what she showed me is that it fluctuates between big and small, firm and squidgy. So, you know, like you get those sea anemones at the seaside or at the beach. And if you, not that I ever did this as a kid, but if you poke them, they're really squidgy, like a bit of water comes out. That it was kind of like that. She said that her surroundings impact her energy, and noise displaces energy in her body. Now, what's fascinating is Tigger is deaf. She is a deaf cat. So how is she sharing with me that noise affects her? Well, how else do you connect with noise if you don't hear it? You can feel it. Hang on. Oh, my boys are being minxes. It's the bewitching hour now. So how else, if you can't hear noise directly, how else do you connect with the sensation? You can feel the vibration. And what is energy all about? Vibration. So she shared that it can take a while and it activates her flight or fight impulse in her body, and it takes a while to come back down from it. She shared with me like this visual of a red toy, and it wasn't like something that she constantly needs. It was about having a mechanism to go to put energy, to shift energy if she needed to balance her energy if she needed to. I asked her if a piece of fabric would do the same. So you know me, I am very much a believer in color therapy. You've seen pictures of my boys if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook about, you know, Leo being on different pieces of colored fabric. And I don't know why she showed me a red toy. You know, I asked if a piece of fabric would do the job. And what she shared with me was that if it is, it's got to be a very small piece. So we as humans don't always fully appreciate how much impact our environment has on us, because we don't always feel it. Whereas with cats, they are so sensitive that a piece of fabric, whether it's this big or this big, is going to have a big difference. You know, if it's a big piece of red fabric, that's going to have a much higher charge in the environment compared to a small little tiny sort of square. But yet either can be just as powerful for the cat, because it's the vibration of that color that's going to make a difference. So she felt like an old soul, and she feels a lot. And she shared with me a message for Leslie, which was her grounding isn't when she thinks it is. It's not the mechanism she uses. It's when she is being. So when I spoke to Leslie about this, she shared that, you know, she likes to she does Reiki and likes to be kind of in her own environment. And I said, you know, what is that what grounds you? She said, yeah. And I said, well, actually, what grounds you is just being with Tigger, being in your environment, being with your house, with your things. So then Tigger showed me something to do with a cherry. Now, my logical brain, my psychologist brain, wants to decipher and associate and logic out what I receive through my empathic gifts. There are times when I have to just like write down what I see or what I feel, and then trust that it will make sense to the guardian. So what I wrote down was a dark colored cherry. There were dark colored cherry spots in her root chakra, and it felt unbalanced. And what I also did was that I used my breath to blow away stagnant energy in her aura. So, you know, if you could watch me, if there was a camera on, you know, in my office to see me when I'm doing these chakra cleanses, you'd think perhaps I'm mad as a box of frogs, because I've had one cat, which I'll share with you next week when we do Milo. I used a feather, and I'm using a feather to stroke my computer screen. Yep, it's true. Others, I've sat here and I've hummed and I've sung and I've moved energy that way. So with Tigger, I was blowing the energy away from her aura. And what happened then is that the holes, these dark colored cherry spots that I could see, they like repaired. They were brighter, and it was full. It was fascinating. And I used the mantra, let it shine, you are fine. And I can't remember, because it was over a week ago when I spoke with Leslie, whether those were words that she spoke to Tigger or a version thereof. But what Tigger showed me then was, like, you know, the difference between a Morello cherry, like a fresh cherry, which is like a really dark red, and then you've got a glacier cherry or glacier cherry here in the UK anyway, like a preserved one that's like bright red, you know, the difference. And what she was showing me with this dark colored cherry, the spots earlier, is basically the difference in her energy between healed and balanced energy and static and stagnant energy. So I said to her, you know, how does this feel? She gave me this big yes, that feels warm and complete. I feel healed. And at that point, I had tingles go down my spine, because we are energetically connected. And I had a smile come across my face. And I said to her, you know, how do you feel? And she's like, yes, much better. So we moved on to the sacral. So the sacral felt small. There were holes. And she showed me an image of like fishnet tights or fishnet stockings. So, you know, there's like more fabric than more holes than fabric. And the energy felt very scattered. So, you know, like if you've got a bubble wrap and you pop the buttons, I call them, and then it's flat. It was a very similar picture, that when she has this, almost like her aura is like bubble wrap, and when it's popped, there are holes to go along with the fishnet image that she shared. So then she wanted another crystal, so we used orange calcite. And I will make a note next time I do this next week, when I share with you Milo's, I will get the tools out that I used, because it'll make a bit more sense. This is the first time I've shared a client's session. So orange calcite, I can't remember offhand what it was for. But she then shared with me, my energy is moving. I can feel my life force again. So can you imagine, you know, you've got a cat that's not very well, it seems a bit off, and you know, they have a healing session with me, and you know, I can feel my life force again. I mean, how powerful are those words? To hear this beautiful girl share those words, it was lovely. Then I put my hands, not on my heart, on my sacral chakra. So I'm a Reiki practitioner as well. When I do Reiki, it's generally hands-on, so I make contact with the body to get the energy moving. I was feeling a lot more warmth from the blanket, so we turned that down, which meant that her energy was flowing really well. And she showed me like pictures of a jigsaw like starting to click together. So we'd moved on to the second chakra. So she was already sharing with me that she was starting to heal. She was starting to feel balance with these pieces coming together. Okay, so then we did more blowing of energy. We sealed the chakra in. She shared with me the infinity symbol, and she said that Leslie needs to use it. She said it will help us to connect, for her to heal. She is avoiding her power. She has more space to grow. She isn't allowing herself the time to nurture and rest. Her breath can help us both. I'm starting to feel like me again, more energy, more balance, more me. So those words were that's a very personal message. And again, I'm so grateful that Leslie's given me permission to share this with you all, because when we shared this together on our call, it was very moving, as it is now to actually read it again a week or so later, to hear that a cat is saying to their guardian, you know, I believe in you, I see your power, I see your strength. You know, she has more space to grow. She isn't allowing herself time to nurture and rest. And Leslie shared with me, she's been going through some physical challenges, and she's not been doing that. She hadn't been allowing herself time to rest. So she, you know, it's another lesson, it's another nudge, it's another action that we can do when we listen to our cats to be able to help us both. Okay, so then we moved on to the solar plexus after obviously asking for permission, seeing if she was ready. And again, I had a lot more energy moving, so I turned the blanket down even more. So we were just on a low setting. Hang on. So we used another crystal. We used sulfur. And for the solar plexus, this chakra was shining the brightest. And it was where she's actually connected to Leslie. So the solar plexus is the energy source, you know, it's the powerhouse for emotions. All of our emotions and our cat's emotions are stored here. So, you know, when you get nervous and you've got butterflies in your tummy, or if you're excited if you're excited and you've got butterflies in your tummy, or if you're nervous and you've got that sinking feeling in your tummy, yes, they are physical reactions, but also, you know, it is energetic. The energy moves in our tummies, in our solar plexus. So it was interesting because actually Tigger felt quite playful. Now that we'd shifted some of the emotions from the other chakras, this one felt bright and strong, like a beautiful sun. And size-wise, it was larger than a cherry. And what was happening is that her chakras were getting bigger the more that we were bringing energy into them, the more that we were balancing her. And then she shared, I like to sleep in the sun. It brings me warmth. It lights my soul. I shine brighter the more energy she, which is Leslie, shifts. When she shows herself love and practices self-care, I thrive. When she sits in fear and worry, it creates shadows for us both. Life is meant to be about change. Nature flows, energy flows, love flows. the more she loves, the more we grow. Wishing things were not as they are is a waste of our connection, our energy, our time together. We are more than a doubt. Now, when I shared this with Leslie, she told me that Tigger has a cat bed in the window and she sleeps there every day. And that window gets a lot of light. So again, Leslie's able to confirm with me that, I've never only got a picture of Tigger, which, as you can see here, she's not on a cat bed in the window. I do have a picture subsequently of her on her bed, which is beautiful because she's upside down with a piece of rose quartz, which she mentions a bit later. So, it's really lovely to have those moments where not only do I know that my connection is strong because I'm receiving what the cat wants me to know, but also to hear for Leslie confirmation that our connection is strong because she's sharing things that actually happen, day to day, which I'm not saying that Leslie needs to hear that. What I'm saying is, as a human, our brains need to hear that. Our brains need to have that connection, that what's the word? Like that association, our heads get stuck in the logical and the proof and the evidence. So it's great that we were able to have that and to experience that. Oh no, Kay's phone's on 5%. No worries, my love. I'm sure you can catch the rest later. Oh, and Leslie said that she definitely used that mantra that I mentioned before. Thank you, my love. And then, hold on a second. Sorry, it's a cold room. Where Tigger said about wishing things were not as they are is a waste of our connection, our energy, our time together. So Tigger is quite old. And Leslie has always had quite a lot of animals. At the moment, she has just Tigger. And we talked about some of the animals that came before. I'm not going to go too much into that because it was a very personal experience that Leslie shared with me. And I do want to keep some elements private. But one of the things that we talked about is Leslie thinking about having other animals. And I said, from Tigger's perspective, what she's sharing is actually, wishing the ones that had gone hadn't gone. That's a waste of our energy. I am here. I am here. She is here. She, Tigger, I'm my words, my tenses switch. But I said to Leslie, she is here with you now. I dribbled. She is with you. Don't waste your energy thinking of what was, or should I do this, or should I get another one? Look at what you have now in front of you. That's what she wanted you to know. Okay, so we moved up to the heart. Should we use a crystal for every chakra? Fascinating. No, but we used, no, I'm going to probably say this wrong. Fuchsite. I could say it as a bit of a curse word. Fuchsite. I'm going to say fuchsite because otherwise it sounds like I'm swearing and I don't want to do that. So her heart felt heavy. There was guilt. There was sadness. Wishing for change, which came from Leslie, which is what I just mentioned. There was trauma and shock, and it was all sitting in her heart space. And what she was doing is Tigger was trying to take the pain for Leslie. So Tigger said, my heart can hold more than hers. I can help her to heal. The music will help. It will allow the energy to move. I forgot to mention at the beginning, she shared with me about a drumming CD. And Leslie said to me, well, she's deaf, how would she hear it? And I said, it's not about hearing it, it's about feeling it, about feeling the vibration of the drum. And then she said to me, I can't take any more now. I need to integrate and release what I've got. So I'm finding more and more that cats that I work with, because the energy work that I do with them is so impactful, they can't do all 7 chakras in one go. I think it was Milo that I'll share with you next week. I think we did his in 3 separate sessions, because he was like, I need to integrate, I need to transmute, I need to deal with what I've got going on, what we've shifted. And also what I'm finding is that our cats are taking so much of our energy, and what's happening is they're either overwhelmed, they're either not letting it go for a variety of reasons. Some past life stuff's come up recently, or there's far too much. and they're taking it from more than one person in the home. So for her, for Tigger, what, if you remember when we talked about right at the beginning that the energy was overflowing and it's not staying where she needs it, we'd then brought this energy in, we'd balanced these bottom chakras. So we'd done 3.5. So we did the bottom 3 and the heart. So we've done 4 out of 7. That's quite a lot, and particularly with older cats, when you do energy work, it needs to be in shorter sort of short bursts. When I used to do Reiki, it'd be 15-20 minutes with Pickle. She'd never do an hour, and obviously with the chakra cleanse, it's not just energetics. They're also sharing with me messages. We're also looking at energy, emotions. There's, the physical elements. There is so much going on for them. So we started the second day, and I said, how are you feeling? And she said, warm, held, healed. And she showed me a really strong image of her chakras. It was beautiful. And I said, would you like more work on your heart? And she said that she would like to feel more light. So what we did is that I've got, as you may have seen, I've got different pieces of colored fabric. So I went and got the green fabric. And she said, I am ready to release. I am ready to heal. She is too. By she means Leslie. Although she is afraid, that we are ready to grow, to heal, to love. And then what she showed me was this beautiful beating heart chakra. And actually it was beating in time like a drum, which resonated back with the drumming music she mentioned at the beginning with the initial impressions. So her heart was shining bright like with the drum beat. She said that she doesn't need all the crystals again. She shared with me rose quartz. So she shared with me a picture of her sitting with the rose quartz. And, rose quartz is the crystal of love, connection, unconditional love. And I said, do you need any of the other crystals that we've used so far? And she said, no, the crystals that we've used so far have helped me in this moment. And that has been enough. So that's what I said about the rose quartz. Leslie sent me a beautiful picture of her a few days later on her window bed in the light with the heat and this rose quartz next to her. It was just lovely. Okay, so then we went up to her throat, which felt very closed, sticky. Sorry. Energy shift. Thank you, my love. The energy felt very sticky and stuck. And she had a lot of words here, actually. So whenever I do an intro call with somebody and we talk about a chakra cleanse, as you've seen, it's not just like I feel the energy and I balance it. Hang on, my throat's tickly. There are messages, there are practical things. It's a real mixture. So here she said, there is so much unsaid. Her pain from her heart is stuck at her throat. The words she can't say, the emotions she won't feel. Her heart needs to hear them. Her voice needs to be allowed to speak. I can't swallow because she doesn't speak. She is fearful her words will be hurtful. Wrong. It's the exact opposite. Her words will heal us both. When she expresses them, she shifts the energy. When she speaks, I can breathe. She needs to be brave, to use her voice to heal us both. She can do this for us. I have faith and belief in her. It will hurt, but the pain will turn to love. The healing will set her free. She is ready. So what I did then is to put a crystal on my throat. In fact, did I write how much crystal that was? Oh, I think it was aquamarine actually. And what Tigger shared is that it was for Leslie, not for her. She said, and Tigger said that she was feeling nourished by the work that we'd done. So again, not to go too much into personal detail, but Leslie did have pain in her heart, did have sadness there. There was guilt around things like we all have, we've all got previous instances, or should it was aquamarine. Thank you. I didn't write it down, my love. We've all got priors, prior pain, instances, trauma, heartache, hard things, and as energy and emotions are meant to, it's meant to move. It is meant to move. It's not meant to get stuck. We're not meant to hold on to these things. Now, don't get me wrong, people. I'm not trying to diminish or belittle any pain that any of us or any of you have gone through. But if you keep hold of it, it does turn into stuck and blocked energy. And we feel it, and it will manifest in things for us, and our cats feel it. So what Leslie and I talked about when we discussed what Tigger had brought up was about Leslie using her voice and finding a way to release the pain that was stuck, to identify the sadness, and as Tigger mentioned, expresses the pain and the hurt, goodness sake here, and the words, she will heal. So we talked about a way for Leslie to do that, to help herself to heal, to shift her own energy and emotions, which would then obviously impact Tigger. Okay, so then we went up to the third eye, which felt small but open. So chakras don't have to be a certain size. Like, because I'm a human, mine aren't this big. Because she's a cat, hers aren't this big. It doesn't work that way. Energy doesn't work that way. The thing with energy is that it needs to be moving. Okay, energy needs to be moving. The chakras need to be rotating. They need to be moving the energy. So the fact that it's small is fine, but if it's open and moving, that's what's important. So this is another connection point for Tigger and Leslie. Now, I used to say that most cats are connected to humans through their heart chakra. And the more cat chakra cleanses I'm doing, the more I completely take that back. It is, in fact, it is very specific. It is very specific depending on the cat and the human. You know, I've shared with you cat chakra cleanses that I've done for Leo and Max for my boys, and we're both connected, me to each of them in different ways. So for Leslie and Tigger, the third eye was another one of their connection points. And what Tigger shared is that she uses her contracts, which is her soul contracts, to guide and support Leslie. And she said anything that she goes through or experiences is to help Leslie grow and evolve. She said, we are new to each other. By that, she means the soul connection here. Our paths crossed before, but a brief touch point. Yet we have a recognition of each other. That she means souls. We will connect again in our journey. For now, I am her guide. She nurtures me. Our bond and connections will grow as we evolve together. So you see, the third eye, you know, it is about contracts. It's about it's leading up to the crown. It's about the spiritual connection. These two are so closely linked with cats. And it was beautiful that she was able to share how she was connected to Leslie, and also the fact that they'd met before. So they'd met before as souls. Now, regardless of what you think about previous life, past life, you know, you're just a being in this body and then you're gone. It doesn't matter. Everything is right for whoever you are and whatever you believe. For me, I believe that I am a soul, and this time around I'm in a, you know, Julianne shaped body. And I know that when I've done soul work before and Reiki work before, that two of my past lives I've been a husband to a wife, and I've also been a woman who was shot in her shoulder when she walked in on a robbery in a bar. So I believe that our souls keep coming back. You know, Leo, currently he is a soul in a black cat's body who I have called Leo, and I know that when I've worked with him and with baby Max, the three of us have been together. Our souls have been together in previous incarnations, but let's not go too much into that tonight. Oh, such thirsty work doing this. Okay, so the chakra felt good and it was spinning well and it felt good to her. So we moved on up to the crown. Is everybody still with me? Yeah. Which felt open and connected. There was lots of light coming through, and it felt beautiful. The flow of light that was there, but the light was getting stuck at her throat. So you know, she talked about how she couldn't breathe. When she speaks, I can breathe. So what was happening with Tigger is that her crown and her third eye, energy coming down from the universe, coming down, and then getting stuck here. because Leslie wasn't using her voice. Leslie wasn't saying these words that were stuck in here. So her heart and throat were blocked as well. And then obviously for Tigger, the lower chakras then were impacted by this because they were small and the energy wasn't moving very well. So she said that there was more energy moving through her chakras, but she said that when Leslie does the healing work, more will move. When we work together, our light will shine. So the crown felt very open, and it's another reason that she likes the sun, because she likes to feel the energy and emotion on all of her body. And she said that what she takes, the energy that she takes from Leslie to help her heal, she is able to give back to the universe, which is great because not all cats can do that. I worked with a cat today, and I had to remind him that he was a healer in a previous incarnation. I'm getting a lot of this recently, previous lives of cats. Maybe that's my next step. And he was a healer in a previous life, so he keeps taking energy from everybody and holding it, and I had to help him let it go, you know. So the great thing is with Tigger, she is able to give the energy back. So she takes it, she heals it, and then she's able to let it go. And then just to wrap us up, her final words, because I always ask the cat if they've got a message that they want to share or anything that they'd like to give to the guardian before we wrap up. And she said, "I am a being of light. Leslie can heal me, or at least help me with my energy shifts. The more she nurtures herself, the more healing I can do. I am," and then I then grounded, and I then protected all of her chakras, went to disconnect our connection. And she showed me a picture, you know, those games you get as you're a kid, and they've got like the letters of the alphabet, and they're like little holes that are cut out, and where the A is, there's like an apple, and you've got to put the A shape on the apple. And the reason that she showed me that is because it was like her energy to coincide with the jigsaw image that she'd shared before. Her energy was slotting into place, and she felt really kitten-like, so she felt really playful, which is a great sign because it means that her energy shifted and is balanced. Why is my computer making funny? And she said to me, "I am now able to breathe, able to shine, able to be." And then the final words, which she gave me a mantra, which is "being of light, shine bright," which I shared. Oh, I set in my eye. I think it's a baby Max fluff, which I shared with Leslie. And I just wanted to say thank you all, everybody, for coming to listen. So, you know, a chakra cleanse isn't a one-pronged approach. It's not a pill for an ill, you know, that someone said that to me the other day, and it's really stuck with me. It's much more deep and soul-based. And every client that I've had the last 2.5 weeks have said to me, "Oh, it's not what I expected." And I don't really know how to take that. I'm obviously not doing a good enough job articulating what people will get when they do a chakra cleanse for their cat. But I think I am still blown away by the messages that the cats share. I am still so surprised when I hear how they are doing, how they are feeling, and what they need. And like I said, the last 3, maybe 4 clients that I've worked with, the cats have shared with me snippets of past lives. I think Milo, I think it is next week, he's got some crazy stuff to share. And I tell you, when I was writing it, I was a bit kind of like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go down. And I'd be interested to see, actually, I must connect with his guardian and see how she's doing, because it's a bit hard to understand it sometimes. And like I shared with you when I gave you Leo's chakra cleanse a few weeks ago, it's really emotional, you know, when it's your own cats, because it's your connection with them. So Leslie said it's been amazing, it's been as amazing for me as well as Tigger. Thank you, my darling. I'm so glad. And I really hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been lovely to share her messages again. Let me stop sharing on the screen. It's been lovely to share her messages again and to give you all an insight as to what happens in the chakra cleanse. So there is energy work, there is emotional shifts, there are practical things and tools to implement. So, you know, after the session, we have the Zoom call, and then I do a written report. So it gives the guardian an overview of all of the 7 chakras, the initial impressions, follow-up actions. So the bit at the end is all the stuff that you can do. So, you know, I'm a doer. Like, you know, I like to have stuff that I can make changes in the home and implement. And some of the other bits, you know, the stuff that we have to do first, sometimes you've got to find a bit of courage and a bit of bravery to do that, you know, to sit and journal and release old pain and deal with old wounds and stuff. It's not something that you know, a lot of us can jump into lightly, but it is the second part of the healing. You know, you can buy the crystals, you can put the colors down, you can make changes in the home, but it is really also about our emotional and our energetic health. And that's the second layer that really kind of emphasizes the work that I'll have done with your cat. You know, energy isn't static, it moves. So I can move it for them, but to keep it moving, to keep them balanced, you know, then it's over to you guys, you know, and the work that you do. So I hope you've enjoyed this evening. Thank you again to Tigger and to the beautiful Leslie for allowing me to share it with you. It's been lovely to give Tigger a voice and to give you her messages. And I hope that it's either inspired you or it's given you some food for thought. If you're interested in booking in a chakra cleanse with your cat, feel free to drop me a message, info@naturallycats.co.uk, or if you head to my website, you can book your free 20-minute intro call. And then I can tell you about a bit what a chakra cleanse is. We can see if it's the right service for your cat, or if something else that I offer, perhaps a communication session, is more appropriate. So get in touch and let me know, and I will see you. Oh, and before I go, the other thing to mention is the 3-day masterclass next week, how to help stop your cat over grooming. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4:30 UK time, I'm going to be doing 3-day masterclass. And you can book your link. You can book your space through the link in my bio on Instagram, and I will figure out and put a link here on Facebook for you as well. So if you can't join me for the 3-day live classes, you can catch the replay, but be sure to book your ticket. So I look forward to seeing you all at the masterclass next week, how to stop your cat over grooming. And if not, I will see you next Thursday for Cat Chakra Chat, when I will be sharing with you Milo and his 3-part session of his chakra cleanse and the messages that he had to share. So thank you all so much for joining me here. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you at some point next week. Take care, everyone. Lots of love, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.